devastating human toll of India's second wave is passing in plain sight. The country has seen exponential growth in cases in just the last few months. Its 7-day average is now above 340,000 infections per day. Deaths have followed a similar pattern, now more than 2,000 a day. But there are widespread concerns the actual numbers are far higher.
50% of deaths are not registered by the government as COVID-19. The government only counts related deaths of victims who die in a hospital.
There are questions surrounding data reported by local authorities. For instance, in the state of Gujarat, 78 total deaths from coronavirus were recorded on April 16th. But in 7 cities in that state, 689 bodies were buried or cremated following COVID-19 protocols. One investigation found at least 1,150 extra deaths weren't included in Delhi's official COVID count over the last week.
My father is in a very critical condition. I'm getting no help. Please help me, please.
The desperation is being driven by a lack of access to medical care and supplies. And many hospitals across the country are already at capacity.
I get maybe around 50 calls every day. Somebody asking for beds, somebody asking for cylinders, somebody asking for drugs. We don't have anything available and patients are dying.
The situation is critical right now. This pandemic is the worst we have ever seen till now. And these 2 weeks are going to be a hell for us.
According to one analysis, India has little more than half a hospital bed per 1,000 people, far below the average in developed countries of 4.7 hospital beds. But even more troubling, 12 states, which account for close to 70% of India's population, are below the national average, as low as 0.11 hospital beds per 1,000 people, or about 1 bed for every 10,000 people.
We have patients who are waiting here for 2 days. They're not finding any hospital.
And while the country is manufacturing several vaccines within its own borders, the sheer scale of vaccinating its own population remains daunting. India has administered more than 142 million doses of vaccines. But put up against its 1.3 billion strong population, that's little more than just 10% of all people within its borders having received just one shot. More than 22 million people among them are fully vaccinated. That's just 1.67% of India's population. Countries around the world are scrambling to get India emergency equipment and vaccine supplies, as the situation is expected to get even worse.
The enormity, the velocity and the ferocity of India's second surge is something to really take a lesson from for the rest of the world.